Hey guys, welcome back once again. Jude here, and I'm here with a tutorial for this amazing makeup look. Let me introduce you to my model, Tega Sacha. She is a whole vibe, even though she stressed me a little bit, but I love her vibe. Hello, welcome back, and let's get into this video. To begin, I'm using a toner from Miss Metic to cleanse her face and also tone her face because I want to make sure I take out any dirt on her skin, and the toner will also help me to control the oil around her skin. Next, I spray her skin with my favorite Kiss Beauty hydrating spray. I use this spray for all my makeup using my new The Girls Corner brush. I just bought those brushes and they launched these brushes like a few months ago. Next, moisturize the lip, guys. Your lip is also part of your skin, and my mother loved this lip so much that I had to give her some. She loved this so much. Next, I went into the skin with the serum. This is the Omari Code BDU serum. This is for more hydration and also give us like a very smooth canvas to work on. And this serum is also glowy. Yeah, she's still admiring her lips because she really loved this. She almost even took the whole container. I had to like give her some out of the container. I think she bought hers later. So this is me just blending the serum into her skin. Next up, I'm using the hydrating moisturizer from the same Amari Code, guys. I apply that on the skin with a brush and also blend that into her skin, under her eyes, all over her skin. Basically, I just make sure I moisturize properly. I pick this moisturizer because it's hydrating and of course more hydration. Next on the list, we're using our Power Seal from Miss Metic. This is the oil control stroke spot control tonic, only on the T-zone, guys. And before going into it on that product, make sure it dries properly. And of course, my lash pack favorite fan, this works better for me compared to the mini fan. Next, I'm going to be going to the skin with a primer. The Stay Matte is for all over the skin, and the Gentle Dove is for the T-zone. So this Stay Matte is a mattifying primer, but also still leave your skin looking moisturized. It doesn't leave your skin looking like really dry. I apply that all over the skin using a brush to dab that in, guys. Don't drag your primer when you are applying. Just drag, no, don't drag, I said. Just dab that into the skin and make sure you apply properly so it doesn't crack your foundation. Next, I'm using the Gentle Dove only on her T-zone because this is a mattifying primer, so you don't want to use all over the face, on the sides of her nose, her brows also, because we want that side mattify and really dry. So to go, before I go into the foundation, I use my Mom Setting Mist, spray all over her skin because I don't want to achieve like a matte finish. So these are the foundations I'm using: the L'Oreal True Match in N8, Beauty by 80 in number 8, and the Younger Beauty in number SMC2. I mix all together and this is what I got. When I'm doing my foundation, guys, I usually don't use like just one foundation. I love mixing a couple of foundation, get her undertone from another foundation, get her shade from another foundation. This just works perfectly well for me. It does the job, guys. So when you're blending, make sure you blend. I apply first with a brush. I'm going to use my beauty sponge and blend like your life depends on it, because your foundation is a foundation for every other product to stay on. So you don't want a messy foundation, guys. So just blend. And when it gets to the forehead and the nose, I barely take product. I just use like the tiniest product on the forehead and on the nose area. This is me making sure that it's well blended before going to the next product, which is the blush. So for the blush, I'm using my Eye Magic cream lipstick in the pink shade that is inside the blush. I just apply that a little bit on her skin with a brush, and I'm just blending that with a beauty blender. Make sure you use little quantity, guys. A little goes a very long way. You don't want to pack products that you cannot blend, or when you end up blending, it just goes all over the face. Next, I'm going to be contouring her skin using my foundation. This is the English foundation in 304. I love the undertone of this foundation. It just bronze rather. I consider this like a bronzing, not contouring actually, because when I'm working, especially on a light skin, model or a client, I prefer to just bronze, just like warm up the face and not, add dimension, like a serious strong dimension. I just make sure I just warm up the face a little bit so it still gives that natural look. And when she goes into the sun just kisses her face, and oh my goodness, you don't want to know the outcome. Of course you do, you do know the outcome. So I just, to give her face a lift, I just contour the part of her eyes, just use the same shade basically that I used to bronze her skin, just to give the face a lift. Next, for the concealer, I'm using my Kevin Akoi concealer in number 6. So I'm just placing like a very little, because with this concealer, guys, a little goes a long way. And the best way to place your concealer is in this form. Just place it and not apply so much all over the skin, guys. And to use this concealer, I like leaving it for a while, not a long time actually. When I apply it on the skin, I just leave it for a while before I start blending. I don't blend immediately, I just let it get tacky a little bit. Then to begin to start blending, I start from her chin. I always start from the chin, the next under her nose. This just works perfectly well for me, and it still gives the under eyes time to get tacky a little bit. When I say tacky, I didn't mean you let it dry up completely. Just let air touch it a little bit, and then you can go ahead to blend. So I'm just blending the nose, it's still giving the under eyes time to get tacky. And when you're doing this, make sure you're light-handed. So to blend under the eyes, I'm starting from the edges. I don't go directly on top of the concealer, that is wrong. So just start from the edges and blend into it, and in this manner just blend and make it really simple and clean. So this is what it looks like. So next, I'm going to be contouring her nose using the same foundation I used to contour or bronze her skin rather. So I just use this soft animal hair brush to do that, because by doing that I don't want to open up the skin, and I'm so light-handed. So after that, use a beauty sponge to just blend. Use the tip of your beauty sponge, press it so it just gets little out of the whole beauty sponge, and blend the sides of the nose. Very important. So guys, next I'm using the setting powder in ginger. This is from Mera Cosmetics. I usually like blend in, I usually like apply my setting powder in layers. So this is the first application. I blend under the eyes first before going to with the setting powder. Guys, when doing anything under the eyes, make sure you blend. If you're going to apply setting powder or press powder or anything, make sure you blend before applying anything, just to avoid that creasing part. You don't want that part creasing. And make sure you take little, really little quantity, because a little goes a very long way. You don't want to pack so much product on our skin, guys. Please don't do that. Just take it easy, gently, because you're working on a human being. Set every part of the face where you highlighted with a concealer. Make sure you set it with a powder. Don't omit any part, don't skip any part. So next, I'm going to be using my melanin powder in Warm. This is in the shade Warm. This is just to warm up the face, like the name implies. Just warm up the face, just like intensify the bronzing I did earlier on her skin. So that is what this shade is for. It's one very amazing shade to warm up the face for really light skinned people. Next, we're going to be intensifying the blush using my classic lip blush palette, just to intensify the blush a little bit, not so much product. Make sure you don't pack product. I keep saying make sure you don't pack product, because it's really important. If it's not enough, you can always add, but if it's too much, how do you intend to reduce it? It's just going to be really, really messed up. So just make sure you build up. That is the key to achieving a very lightweight makeup. So next, I'm going to be setting the second layer with the same setting powder, which is the Mera Cosmetic in Ginger. Yes, yeah, Ginger, that's the name. Yes, Ginger, to set under the eyes. The reason I set in layers is because I don't want to pack so much product into her under eyes, and setting in layers also help you set better. Next, I'm going to be finishing off her face with a pressed powder, using my Melanin pressed powder in medium to do that. This is like the lightest out of this. Melanin has like 3 shades, so I'm using the shade medium to do that, just to blend and seal over all over her face. So I'm not setting again, not like this is like the third layer. I'm about to do the eyeshadow, so I'm placing excess eyeshadow, excess setting powder to catch pigment fallout and eyeshadow fallout. So for the eyes, I'm using my gel liner from Tehila Cosmetic as the base, because we're going for a dark base, which is like a black smoky. So it's just better you start off with a black base. It's going to really make it very easy for you. So this is the eyeshadow I'm using, my Inglot eyeshadow, and I'm using the orange in the eyeshadow as a transition. I started with the transition first because sometimes I do, when I'm working with a matte eyeshadow, I do the eyeshadow first before I start transitioning. But in this case, we're working with a black, and working with a black is very tricky. So you need to play safe at all costs. When I was done transitioning with orange, I went into in between the transition and the crease, or in between the transition and the lid that's on the crease. I went into a brown eyeshadow and I make sure I blend. So now I'm placing the black eyeshadow on the lid because this is the base for the pigment. So why I say working with the black eyeshadow is very tricky is because you have to be really careful, and see how little I'm picking products to put on the skin. So I just put it on the skin, place it lower, and just blend it. While I'm blending, I'm taking it higher. So you don't want to take your eyeshadow high, especially when you're working with a black. Before you finish, it's going to get to the brows. So guys, this is one non-makeup tools in my bag. I consider a makeup tools, which is my credit card. Guys, this is to create that sharp line we get. This, with this, just know that this is what you're going to get, but you know what I'm talking about. Just hold on, be patient, and watch the outcome. Whoa, that's the outcome, guys. So I just blend. You don't want no demarcation, blend like your life depends on it. You don't want no demarcation, so I just keep blending and blending until I am satisfied. Then I went on to the next eyes and I did the same thing. This is just so perfect for getting that sharp liner. So this is it, guys. This is it. So I just went ahead to like blend and blend and blend. Just keep blending. Just keep blending. And next I went to the brow bone with a powder just to blend it out. Make sure I don't have like so much orange on the brow bone, because of course I'm going to do her brows, so I don't want product jump back into each other. I don't like such makeup. I see that sometimes and I'll be like, oh okay, your try is fine. And to smudge under the eyes, I'm using the same black I used. This black is not from the Inglot eyeshadow palette because I don't have a black in that palette. That is from one Naked palette I bought sometime, and I don't know the name of the palette, so I just use a smudge under the eyes. And guys, just keep doing this to your satisfaction. There's no particular amount of it that you should get. Next, I'm using my gel liner from Tehila Cosmetics to line her the top lash line and her waterline. Yes, I have to be professional about mentioning this. I don't want to say lining her lower line, no. I don't want to say lining her lower eyes. So I have to like be really professional with this, guys. So I'm lining the top of her eyes, and this is the pigment I'm going to be using. I'm using this orange pigment, and I'm using the other glitter from NK Cosmetic in Snail. So that is my glitter glue. So to give this thing, just like to intensify the line and give the face a lift, I'm just using my powder, a translucent powder, to do that. I don't use concealer or foundation to do that. It's very difficult for me to blend. So if you're finding blending difficult after doing this, try using a powder and you'll never go back to using foundation or concealer again. So for her waterline, I'm lining with a black liner, and I'm making it really dark because a black base is what we have. So I'm placing the pigment on her eyelid. I left it on the back of my palm, let it get tacky for a while before placing it on the eyelid. So I picked the glitter, dusted out the excesses because I don't want so much fallout on the skin, and I placed that on her eyelid slightly, and I did the same thing on the other eye. So without pigment on this brush, I'm trying to just blend out the edges of these eyes. There was no pigment on this blush. If we had like pigment on this brush, guys. Trust me, that pigment would have gone every other part. So I went again with the glitter glue on top of the orange pigment to place my glitter like I am doing right now. So this is me just placing my glitter because I just really wanted to, intensify the eyes. That was actually what I wanted. I want a really popping eyes. When I was done with the glitter and the pigment, I went with a small brush on the crease to apply more black because I want it looking really dark, guys. So before the lashes, I'm using my mascara. This is my favorite Wing Beauty mascara, guys. If you have been following me on this channel, you know that this is my favorite. I barely use my other product because this just works for me. I love how tiny the one is and it can get into any eye type, into any eye shape. I love it so much. So next I'm using my One Beauty bridal lashes. I applied the glue on the lashes and I just held her eyes up. I told her to open her eyes and look down, not don't close, don't look up. I just held her eyes up. This is just going to give me space, enough space to place the lashes, and that is it for the lashes. So easy. So for the brows, it's really simple. I just brushed, I already like trimmed her brows off the camera, and I'm using my Davis brow pencil to just line lightly, not so much drama, because that is one advantage of doing your brows last. After your skin work, your eyeshadow, after everything, the advantage of doing your brows last is because it's just easy. There's no room for you to want to draw and redraw and conceal, sorry. So you just follow the brow line, and when you are carving, you have to like carve the eyes properly. I personally don't like my models coming with their brows already carved. So another advantage of this doing this last is that it saves product. So this is the amount of concealer I am taking, very little quantity, because after that, where are you going to keep it? So I just set with my pressed powder. This is the Milani pressed powder in warm, the same pressed powder we used to set all over her face, and I was just intensifying the liner because the lashes kind of messed it up a little bit. So this is me finishing off the makeup using my Nuban Beauty powder in number 1 to blend this out, and now again with my powder just to make sure everything is sealed together, guys. We don't want any demarcation looking funny from any part of the skin, so blend that out and just make sure everything is intact. So that is the word. So next I'm using my setting mist. This is the Morphe setting mist. This is just to bring the makeup together and make it into one layer. This has like a little bit of oil in it. So of course with my hand fan, which is my lash pack, make sure it's dry like 98%, then use like a beauty sponge to just seal that in. It works better. So for the highlighter, I'm using my Makeup Revolution highlighter palette. There's a pink in the highlighter palette that I can't remember the name, but I just love it so much because it works perfectly well for this look and it suits her undertone so well. She was already like admiring herself. At this point, it was even difficult to keep her calm. She was really admiring herself. This is the Glaze TM Essential, no, not TM Essential, Miss Metic Cheek Glaze and Flushed, my favorite shade. It has like a pink undertone, so this is just perfect for her. I just apply that on her cheek, her nose area, and a little bit all over her skin. So for the lips, these are the lipsticks I'm using. I just use my Eye Magic lip cream lipstick to set as a base, so I'm just lining with this. Is this a dark pink? I don't know what I should call this, or a different shade of red, or a dark pink, or a different shade of brown. I don't know what to call this lip color, but I'm using it to line. So this time we're not doing the regular brown lip liner, so I'm just using this to line and making sure I line properly, because that is really important. You don't just do anything on somebody's lips and ask them to go. You have to do it properly. So I use the pink, which is the classic, on top of it, that's inside the lips, and now I'm using that is the pink from the Avon. Yes, the Avon. I'm just basically mixing lipsticks, guys. So if you can mix different kind of lipsticks, and trust me, it's going to work for you. So this is the Supro gloss in oh, I can't remember the shade, but this is an amazing shade, guys. I love it so much, and it just works for me. It works for me since I got this, guys. I don't use any other of my lip gloss because this is just the job. This just does the job for me. What am I saying? So I'm also intensifying on the eyes with a black eyeshadow before applying with a mascara, because I wanted everything to be intact, and of course everything is intact, everything fell in place. So of course my favorite Wing Beauty mascara to increase the volume of her lower lashes. And guys, this is the finished look. This was before we let her hair down and remove the cape, and I present to you the finished look of this look. Let me know if you enjoyed this video, if you find it helpful. Subscribe to my channel if you're yet to. Like my videos, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.